What's up, y'all? It's Big Bamboo with some more information. Um, I would like to send the peace and positive energy out. Uh, that to whoever gets a hold of this video. Uh, I just wanted to spread some information and some knowledge and some pointers on my own experience in my life, spiritually um, and physically. Um, to get you to understand on why you go through what you go through in your life. See, the thing about the universe and the thing about who you is as a person and what you trying to do, when you doing something that's right and when you doing something and trying to do something that's going to change your life for the better, this is when you're going to be tested. See, the thing about a lot of people don't want to be tested because a lot of people are not brave enough to handle all the criticism and the adversity. Adversity is a part of life. If you never had adversity or never had criticism and never been put down before, then you have no story of life. You have to have criticism and have doubt put on you so you can get an understanding on what you may be doing wrong, or you can get an understanding on who the motherfuckers is around you, right? So if you doing something wrong and you get criticized for it, then you can know how to correct what you're doing. But if you getting criticized and uh, people are speaking on you and you ain't doing nothing wrong, you doing everything right, then this is when you know that people hating on you, they got a problem with you, but this is when you know that you being tested. Now, being tested come in a lot of ways. You may be tested through your art, you may be tested through your work, you may be tested in a lot of different ways. You test it for a reason. To see if you really about that and see if you can handle being in that situation. All right, they say many are called, only a few are chosen. The chosen ones have to be tested to see who they are. You can't call yourself a chosen one if you haven't been tested. You have to be tested. Testing is all about seeing what you made of and seeing what you can deal with. If I'm trying to save the world and save the planet, and you got people out here making false remarks on me, saying I'm this and saying I'm that, and people believing in it, and something happens to me, far as with the system and all that, how am I gonna be able to handle that and not motherfucking explode and lose my motherfucking mind, right? In that process, I have to know what to do. Like, you got some of us that have went to jail. Some of our people that went to jail. Them being in jail was all a part of them being tested, just to see who they is as people, spiritually. Right? That may sound like a ballpark figure, but it's the truth. You get tested in a lot of ways. When all the odds is against you, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna give in and let everything run its course, or is you gonna, face it eye to eye and show up for yourself, or stand up for yourself and not let a motherfucker try to short arm you? What are you gonna do? You gotta stand up for yourself. It's the time when you really have to speak up for yourself. You may be the quiet one. You may not talk a lot. You may be on mute. most of your time. But it's gonna come a time to where you gonna have to speak up, because if you don't say nothing at all, people gonna start speaking for you. And you don't want nobody speaking for you, because then if people speak for you and then you come back and correct something that somebody said about you that you don't feel and that you ain't never said, people gonna look at you like, wait a minute. It's gonna twist everybody's words around and their perceptions around of you and of the people that's speaking for you. Right? So you gotta learn to talk and speak for yourself. Don't let other people talk for you. Right? Because it could cause your life to be lived based upon someone else's ideas for you and not for yourself. That's why I listen to people's energy. I can tell if you an idiot and you don't know what you're talking. I can tell. I ain't gonna tell it to you, but I can tell. Ain't nobody in this world more intelligent than the next motherfucker. Like I said before, everybody is fucked up in their own way. Everybody. I don't give a fuck how many diplomas you got. I don't give a fuck what college you. I don't give a fuck about none of that. That don't mean nothing. You still got dumbasses out here. You still got motherfuckers that don't know nothing about nothing, but think they know something. Right? So, you gotta learn um to have a time to speak for yourself and know you being tested and stand up and do what you gotta do. You gotta do that shit. Right? Right now, in my life, it's a lot of generational curses that I'm dealing with that I'm realizing I have to kill for myself. The generational curses is the cause to why a lot of shit has been the way it is in my life. So in order for me to kill it is for me to realize it, that it's there and that it's the reason for my, outcomes. That's the only way to kill it is by realizing that it's there. Cause the thing about it is you can still do the shit, right, while realizing that it's there. But if you keep a balance on it to where you don't let it control you and you know how to manage it, then it's not something that's not necessarily that bad for you, right? You can do that as well, right? If you understand what's the causes to what's going on, then you understand the causes to why you being tested, and you understand what's the causes to why your life has been the way it is, or to why your family is the way it is. Everything has a connection to it. This is the biggest thing that I'm realizing in this whole spiritual shit. The way you are and the way you carry yourself and the curses that you have on you that you just can't shake, it's all got to do with the generational foundation of your family and your the people in your family may not catch on to the energy and the message uh, of being tested that to change shit around, so it may come to you, and now you got to take on the burden of changing the whole uh, dynamic of your family and changing the dynamic of your life so that you can improve their lives. Right? This is why we talk about self work and shadow work and all this shit. You gotta understand this spiritual shit is real. I ain't trying to go off course, but you get what I'm saying. Your whole thing of being tested and all this shit happening is to get rid of something that has been a burden over you. You have to get rid of it. So you being tested, right, to see what you do and see how you handle it and see what you can understand and catch on to. That's all it is. Because the energy can hit you, but if it hits you and you don't understand what hit you and you think it's just some shit that's in the air, then it's nothing. But if it hits you and you feel it in your heart and in your soul and in your spirit to act on it, and you know where it's coming from, then that's when you go about what you go about. Right? So when I'm getting tested, I already know what's coming and I already know what's happening. So I already know how to deal with it. I don't overreact. I don't lose my mind. I stay calm because I know what's coming and I know where all this shit is leading to. Right? And this is how you have to deal with shit. Everybody gonna get tested. Your test is caused by the circumstances of your environment, your family, all that shit ties into your test, being tested. A lot of motherfuckers in this world ain't never been tested. And that's why you see why a lot of people do clown shit. Because they ain't never been tested. They ain't never had no real shit happen in their life that made them question themselves. They ain't never been in that situation. They ain't never been in a household where shit was fucked up and the circumstances was not all that good looking. Right? I come from a struggle as well. I didn't have no silver spoon in my mouth wherever, how you want to justify it. I used to live in a house with roaches and mouses. I come from shit. We had the shit in bags and shit and tie them motherfuckers up like dogs and throw them motherfuckers in the garbage. We was fucked up. But shit like that, is all a testimony of to what makes you stronger and what gives you your grit. Everybody has to have grit. You have to have something that you come from, and you have to be tested in order to be a complete person or be a better person than what you once was. It's just the truth. Like the same as ain't nobody perfect. That's a fact. That's the one thing we can all agree on as people is that ain't nobody in this motherfucking world perfect. And nobody should be perfect. This is why when people see other people acting like themselves, they always, why they doing that? Why they doing that? They always make a motherfucker feel bad for being themselves. I mean, that's just how they want to be. You can't judge a motherfucker for wanting to be what the fuck they want to be. You can't judge a motherfucker. If she want to shake her ass and do what she do, make that ass clap, she want to clap that motherfucker ass, hey, that's what she want to do. You can't make her feel like she a bad person. That's what the fuck she want to do. She ain't perfect. And she's acknowledging that she's not perfect. She ain't in denial. I'm not perfect. I'm not all the way put together mentally. Not in the sense saying like I'm intelligent to the motherfucker, but I ain't all the way put together because I don't know it all yet. I'm still learning. I'm still a youngster. I got a lot to learn. Right? It's just the truth. I'm not perfect. See, people think when you become spiritual, this is when you become perfect. I don't know where the fuck that came from. Because you got a lot of spiritual motherfuckers out here that be trying to teach people to be perfect. Oh, I'm spiritual now. What the fuck that got to do with it, nigga? Nigga, don't think just because you spiritual, that's going to take away you being an alcoholic and you probably was a abuser, nigga, about 2, 3 years ago, that ain't gonna take that away. It's still a part of you because you acted on it. You still did it. But your spiritual journey is here for you to realize the wrongdoings you made and learn not to make the mistakes again, but also to learn to forgive yourself for not knowing what to do and how to do better in that situation. That's just the truth. Ain't I mean you at the end of the day, you being spiritual ain't gonna erase nothing you did. It's not gonna erase it. It's just gonna make you have a better understanding and it's gonna make you learn to accept the shit you did. Cause we all got some dirt, we all got some skeletons. Right? But spiritually, it's gonna help you accept it, embrace it, and not give a fuck. So the way we embrace it is by talking about it. Oh yeah, I remember I used to sell drugs, or I remember I used to gangbang, or I remember I used to do, and we sit and laugh about it. That's you embracing the shit you used to do, right? But if you sit around feeling bad, want to kill yourself, all that else sit there and you letting it run its course, and you're in the wrong state of mind. But when you acknowledge it, embrace it, not give a fuck, hey, it's what it is. You just let it go do what you do. Right? But you have to realize that ain't nobody down in this bitch perfect. No Christians, no Muslims, no Buddhists, no, even Freemasons, ain't nobody perfect. The Pope, nobody. Ain't nobody on this planet perfect. Everybody is fucked up in their own way. Everybody. The motherfuckers that the people that you think crazy ain't crazy. And the motherfuckers that you wouldn't think would be on some weird shit, they be on some weird shit. You just will never know it. It will surprise you. It will fucking surprise you. You know? This is just the reality. In the circumstances that we dealing with, in this lifetime. I realize that everything is just a test. Everything is just here for me to develop better as a man and as a spiritual being. Like me as a man and as a person, I don't follow the one side, right? So you have people in this world that always make it like the woman is always innocent and that the man is just the dog, the worst of the worst. That's not true. See, that's that feminist in Leo bullshit. At the end of the day, like I said, ain't nobody perfect. You got women that's fucked up and then you got men that's fucked up. Everybody fucked up. It ain't just one side. Everybody experienced their own trauma. Your trauma is what make you what you is now. The only danger in it is if you don't realize that it's something that you couldn't control at the time, right? And learn to forgive yourself and forgive that person and move on. Right? So, for me, if a woman is being called a bitch and being called a hoe by another man, and she's a hoe and she's a bitch, obviously, I'm not going to really feel no sympathy for her because he ain't wrong. Right? If you present yourself as something and that's your identity, why should anybody feel sympathy for you? That's what you choose to be. So you get what you get out of that. Right? But if it's the opposite and she's a real woman and she don't carry herself like a hoe or a whore and all that shit, then she don't deserve to be called out of her name. She don't deserve it. But if she is a hoe and she a thought, slut, whatever you want to call it, Whatever you want to justify that is, if that's what she is and that's how she promotes herself, then I mean, I don't have no sympathy for a motherfucker referring to her as that, because that's just what she is. She a thought. That's just what it is. I'm not gonna be one sided and be like, "Oh, all women is queens." No, not all women is queens. You got some women out here that's fucked up. Not all of them queens. That's just the truth. I'm not about to say all women queens, because not all of them is queens. Not all of them is some goddesses. That's not true. They're not. Some is, but not all of them. Just like you ain't got a lot of niggas out here that's gods. A fuck nigga ain't no god. You know, so it's the same. That's just how I'm not one sided. I'ma see you for what you is and refer to you what you is. I don't go around calling all women bitches. Hell nah. I don't do that shit. That ain't the type of man I am. That's some hoe shit. But if you see somebody being what they is, and that's their personality, and that's how they carry themselves, then shit, that's what you refer to them as. Or that's what you know, understand of them. You know, that's just the truth. But not all women is that. Hell nah. I respect women, of course. I respect my mama, you know, and the women that's around me, my siblings, you know. But, you know, somebody that, you know, treats themselves in a way that's dehumanizing to themselves and not right to themselves, you gotta call it how you see it. You know? It's just the reality of that shit, man. Hey. In the days we live in now, you got a lot of thoughts out here, man. There's a couple of them. They trying to make being a thought the new. They try to make being a thought the new natural woman. They try to make that like that's some good shit. Being a thought is that shit now. They don't want you being no woman. They want you being a thought, cause it looks better, and you know, to them. That shit ain't cool though. You know, that ain't some shit you should be promoting. You know, but back to what I was saying. Um, um, being tested. What we were speaking on being tested. Being tested is a part of this life because it's all spiritual, right? So you have to understand the spirituality of being tested and learn how to deal with it and manage the circumstances of being tested and learn what you got to do and learn what's supposed to come out of that shit. That's what you do. Because ain't nobody perfect. Everybody got their own shit going on, man. When shit in your life is bad and it just look bad, just know that something good is coming out of that. Your greatest struggle is only a a preview of a greater outcome that's gonna come later on. So the struggle is just a preview of the greater outcome that's gonna come into play. I know this for a fact from my own experience. Right, so you just gotta understand and understand, the test, because if you ain't never been tested, you have no testimony. So you gotta fucking be tested. It may be hard, it may scare you. You may be like, what the fuck? I don't want to do this. I don't want to be in this situation, but you gotta do it. Because if you want to get better and be a better person and get rid of those generational curses that's been fucking you up for all these years and you ain't been able to put an end to that shit, you gotta, face the music. You gotta face that motherfucking music, or it's gonna keep fucking with you until you get into another lifetime. Then you're gonna have to do this shit all over again. It ain't gonna stop. Or it's gonna be passed down to your kids, or passed down to your nieces and nephews, and they gonna have to deal with the bullshit. Like, we don't realize the shit that we do now affects a generation later. Even if the people that it affects not even related to you, it still affects them. Everything goes around. What goes around comes around. Like, you got these young motherfuckers out here doing all these different drugs and shit, whippets. Niggas is inhaling with this nitrous oxide or some shit. Oh, that shit, that's leaving a bad generational burden for these youngins to where they gonna think shit like that cool to do. It's, but it's all starts with you wanting to put an end to all this shit by realizing that it's there and that it do exist. And realizing that what you do today can have an effect tomorrow. Or it could be the cause for someone's life tomorrow. It's just the truth. But this was just a quick little video, little information I wanted to drop on y'all heads. You feel me? I ain't gonna be too long. I ain't about to start preaching none of that old shit. But yeah, man. The George's little video I just made. I'll probably be dropping some more information on some other shit I got. But that being said, it's the Big Bam Boom. Y'all be alright here. I'm gone. Peace.